Hey, Steve Miller, better known as Kelly's dad, once again coming to you to talk about marketing. Let's talk about business growth, okay? Things we can do to make more money. How's that sound? Now, the motivation behind this particular video came from something that I got in the mail this week, and I'll tell you about that. But unfortunately, this is not a good example of marketing promotions. And in fact, this is what I call a bad example. And so because of that, I'm going to start a new segment here on my videos that I may or may not be using in the future, but we'll call it
Stupid Marketing Tricks.
Yes, and the first stupid marketing trick comes from P.F. Chang's. Now, here's the story behind P.F. Chang's, this particular story. Last month, I took my daughter Kelly, the 17-year-old golf stud, and her best friend Stacy, who is also a golf stud, down to Portland, Oregon to watch the LPGA Safeway Classic, the Professional Women's Golf Tour.
She just killed a bird. Prove it. Are you taking a picture of the bird? Hurry up. Take a picture. Go slow, Lionel.
I don't think that was from the LPGA tournament, but anyway, whatever. Let's just move on with the story. Now, at the tournament, the Safeway Classic, that's the sponsor, the big sponsor of the tournament. Of course, they have a really big tent that's filled with all kinds of products that you can buy at Safeway, and you could sample all of these things. Well, they also went out and found other businesses in the local area who came out and had tents of their own. And yep, you guessed it, P.F. Chang's had a tent out there. Now, they were giving away free samples of the lettuce wraps appetizer that they have at the restaurants. Now, I got to tell you right out of the box, my family and I, we love P.F. Chang's. We really enjoy going to P.F. Chang's whenever we can. Our problem here is that the nearest one is about 45 minutes north of us up in Bellevue, and so we don't get up there that often. Now, I do get a chance to go to P.F. Chang's on the road occasionally, and I always enjoy eating there, even when I'm by myself. But at the Safeway Classic, in their tent, in order to get one of those free appetizers of the lettuce wraps, you had to provide them with your contact information. Now, being the marketer and the student of marketing that I am, I was very curious to see, okay, what is P.F. Chang's going to do with my contact information? And my first fear was that they wouldn't do anything with it, but then this did come through, and like I say, this arrived this week. And so when I open it up, here is what I find inside. This is the letter from the co-CEOs, Rick and Bert. Now, if we read this, the start of it says, as a special thank you for being a loyal customer, we'd like to offer you 10% off your bill anytime you dine with us. Simply bring your enclosed Warrior card into any P.F. Chang's location nationwide from now until December 31st, 2009, and we'll take care of the rest. There's no limit to the number of times you can use this card. Now, this is what I call a marketer thinking like a marketer. Okay, instead of, if you go back and you look at my two-hat marketing, the two-hat marketing means that you've got to wear the hat of your customer. So as a marketer, we could look at something like this and say, wow, this is a great promotion. We're sending it out to people who gave us their name and address, and it's designed to generate more business, right? Well, you know what? I'm not so sure. It's because when I take my marketer hat on and I put my customer hat on, the customer at P.F. Chang's, and I now look at that, I started thinking to myself, well, okay, 10% off my bill anytime I dine with them. Well, is that really a motivation for me to go into P.F. Chang's and buy from them? Gee, I don't think so, because it's really, 10% off is kind of a vague generality. I mean, you don't think about, okay, well, how much money does that really mean? I mean, if I spend $50, so then I'm going to save $5? Well, is that a motivation for me to come to the restaurant? And the answer is probably not. At least not for me, it isn't. Now, let's go beyond just the offer, and let's take a look at what else have they done in this promotion? Well, if we go down to the bottom, it says,
your Warrior card must be presented at time of purchase. Tax and gratuity are excluded. Limit 1, 10% discount per table. Void where prohibited. Not redeemable for cash. May not be combined with any other offer or discount. Not valid on the purchase of gift cards.
so in other words, there's some pretty cut and dried limits to what you can do with this card, but not the least of which is I have to carry this card. I have to put this card that's just like a credit card in my wallet. Do I want to put another card in my wallet to carry around with me so that just in case I go to P.F. Chang's up in Bellevue that I'm going to remember, or anywhere else around the United States, that I'm going to remember, oh, you know what? I've got that. I've got my American Express card. I've got my Visa card. I've got my driver's license. I got my AAA card. I've got my my Blue Cross card. I've got all those cards. And oh yeah, you know what? I got my P.F. Chang's card in there. You know what? I am not going to put my P.F. Chang's card in my wallet and carry it around with me. So now basically the goodwill from this card has gone from a potential opportunity for them to do something very meaningful and specific for me that would have a value that is important to me to, you know what? This is a hassle. I'm not going to use this. I'm going to throw it away. That's what I'm going to do. See, and in fact, I would love to see Rick and Bert's wallets and see how many discount cards they have in their wallets of companies that force them to carry them around. You know, I'd be willing to bet probably none. So anyway, now you see, now let's go beyond this and let's ask ourselves, okay, well, what should they have done? Well, I decided to check out the history of discount cards. And look what I found. The Genesee Hotel in Niagara Falls, New York, back in 1895 had a discount card. Now let's read this. The holder of this card is entitled to a discount of 50 cents a day. That's a meaningful specific. I hear 50 cents. 10% is tough for me to get. 50 cents a day on the American plan, which means, you know, breakfast is included and stuff like that, on all rooms for which the price is $3.50 a day and upwards. So now I've got a very clear picture in my mind of what I'm going to get out of this. Now listen to this. In addition to this, when I'm accompanied by my wife, the charge for her on the American plan will be $3 a day on the American plan, regardless of the price of the room occupied. So I might have a $10 room, but bringing my wife in on the American plan, it's only going to cost me $3 more per day for her to be on that American plan with me. And if we're on the European plan, her account will be complimentary. Pretty clear and specific there that back in 1895 the Genesee Hotel was able to figure that out. And so for people who would be traveling to Niagara Falls, this would be a meaningful, specific, and a reason to take that with them. Now, you see, from that, I gotta say, you know what, P.F. Chang's, I hate to tell you this, but I gotta give you a thumbs down on your promotion this time. Man, that's a disgusting looking thumb.